Alright, this is a CBT guitar lesson that I am calling Mick Mars meets Tracii Guns. This is for 𝐂𝐒𝐒. And I take it Mick and Tracii are your two favorite guitar players, and they're actually kind of similar. You also had some questions on tone, and I want to briefly talk about that before jumping into this. And here, let's adjust this for a second. So, you're playing through a Randall RG100. You know, we all have different amps. I've got a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier, and you know, in a sense, their tones are kind of similar. Mick is has a broad spectrum as far as how diverse his tones go. If you listen to the Too Fast for Love album and then you listen to Shout at the Devil, which are just an album apart, it got a lot heavier, you know, and his tone got heavier, and he was using different amps and this and that. So I had to kind of mess with my EQ. Now, of course, this is through a Boogie, but I want to kind of tell you where my settings are. And it depends on the song, you know. Sometimes they got a little bit of a slapback delay going on in their playing. Depends on the song, you know, and what they're doing. On my Boogie, I've got the bass on 9, treble on 8. No, treble on 9, bass on 9, mids on like 8, and then the gains like, for what you're hearing right now, between 8 and 9 on the gain. You know, EL33s and EL6s, and it's just, there's different tubes and this and that. But it's a tough one, man. You gotta listen to the song and album. You know, usually on one album the tones will kind of stay consistent with bands, and the next album they may change, you know. So on this, and I messed with different sounds, you know, and then I realized, you know, I'm using a Rocktron multi-effects processor, you know, and these guys all have different effects and this and that. But as far as tone, the typical distortion tone, I think what I told you will get you in the ballpark, you know, give or take. Your tabs are ending up being 7 pages? Or 6 pages? Yeah, 6 pages. Tuning, we had to pick one. You know, Tracii will do standard, he'll do half step down, you know, kind of all over. And Mick, you know, they usually did the whole step down, you know, with Motley. And so I'm picking standard tuning for all this. So, and what I did was I gave you kind of, we're going to start with Tracii, kind of this loose, open feel, the good sloppy, I like to call it. And there is a good sloppy when you think of it. It's not a bad thing. You think of Jimmy Page, and there's players that, you know, Richie Blackmore, and it's a good thing. And both these players, Tracii and Mick, kind of have that element at times in their playing. The first one, what I figured was I will take some pieces of songs, and like No Mercy from LA Guns, kind of more of a loose, open feel, you know, with this. You got that, and then you have your the contrast being like a tighter, choppy feel, you know, usually meaning there's some palm muting involved in it and stuff. So I'm gonna break these down, give you some different kind of Tracii rhythms, and then kind of a Tracii style lead element, and we're gonna do the same with Mick. And hopefully this will serve your purposes, man, for what you want. Let's dive in. So number 1A. This is the Tracii Guns section of this, and I'm taking part of a couple riffs from No Mercy. Okay, and that's going to be, here we go. That vibe, you know? This type of loose vibrato over 2-string things. So on this one, we're gonna go open A, down up, short rest, another up. How you use your strum hand will affect the feel of a riff. So when he's playing that, he's going down, up. I kind of mute the surrounding strings with these other fingers and the thumb too. A lot of times people are like, what's he pushing it down for? Well, half the time it's just muting the surrounding strings. Down, up. And then 7th fret D and G, 5th fret D and G. Those can be downstrokes. That's the hook 3 times. And he throws in this filler which we'll call an A filler. 5D, slide to 7, and it's alternate picked. Short rest is you go 6-5D, and then 7-6-5-3 on the A. Continue the alternate picking. When you hit that open, it's the secondary open from that main groove, so you got to be aware of that as you're playing it. You'll be going up, up, down, down on that one. Then you'll have 2 times the regular one. Then the B filler would be down up on the open A, 7th fret G and B. I'm going to go 3rd finger, back it with a few. And just like, think of it like a bend. It's a heavy vibrato. These fingers will help support this guy when you're doing it. That's why I set those down. Unless you went index, you could use your thumb as an anchor. So that would be the first one. You know, just get used to the groove. If you have to slow it down, go for it. Alright, 1B, same concept, same song, just a different rhythm he uses in there. But if you got that down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, you've got the percussive or the strum side of this. And this will be down, up on the open E this time. Our chords are going to shift around. So, down, up, 9th fret D, G, and B to 7th fret D, G, and B. Repeat that with 14s and 12s. See, I'm over here, I got these fingers muting even the A, so I can hit this hard and I don't hear. So it does serve a purpose, and it's setting you up for the next chord. So repeat it with 7, 5, A, and D. So we have, you can hear I have a little slap delay on this too. The last one is 2nd fret A and D, open A and D. Nothing to mute there on the upper end because we're hitting the open E, so it's a little more freedom there. But I am muting below. Open ADG to open 2-2 ADG, just to end it. Okay, that's it for that first one. The second one, so we had a 1A and a 1B. Second one, this is some, I just call it live jam stuff that he was doing in concert. It's got a loose feel, and it's using some octaves as part of the rhythm. Now, I don't know if this is a particular song because there was kind of a jam thing going on, so you may recognize it. It's gonna go, it's got kind of a 90s alternative sound actually, but so it goes. Okay, down, up, down. Open on the E for the down, up, and then octaves. Just a root in the octave is going to be 12A muted D and 14G. So, and then slide it a half step flat. Half step means 1 fret. Move it to 11, 13, and then you should hear it ringing, right? So, and then go down, up on the open E, and then hit that 11, 13 octave. Vibrato it as well if you can. That's a cool tone, man. You hear players like 𝐕 use it in their rhythms, and it's cool. Instead of doing like a, just it still sounds cool, but that octave just makes it more melodic or something. It sounds killer, especially with this open E driving it. Repeat that, but our octaves change. 12, 14, that's the same. Slide up a whole step, that's 2 frets, to 14, 16. down up on the open E, and then hit that octave again, vibrato. So you have, when I'm hitting that octave, I'm stopping the low E. Now, sometimes you can have that ringing with the octaves and it gets even more mood oriented, right? So, a little more separation this way, the way I heard Tracii doing it. So, go back to the first one, and then end it with down up open E, 10A, 12G octave, vibrato, and then move it a half step back to 9/11. Just hit the octave, vibrato it. So it ends with, and then you just loop it, start it over. Anyways, trying to give you a variety, you know, a smorgasbord of sorts. Top of page 3. They have a song called Malaria. This is number 3A, by the way. And this is the opposite spectrum of more of a choppy, tight, chunky feel to it, okay? Different than the loose stuff that we were just playing. Okay, so we have. Now this is style of, by the way, it's not the exact riff in Malaria. So. Alright, E5 power chord, open E, 2A, short rest, palm mute, down up, open E, then go 3rd fret E, pull off to open, and then palm mute, down up. So, oops, 2D, pull off to open, E, palm mute, down up, to an F power chord, 1-3 on the EA. Let's play that groove. That's like the first quarter of this whole riff. Let's start it over. After the 2D pull off to open, we're gonna have a different ending, like a B section riff. Just go down up, palm mute on the open E, and go open A. We gotta fit it in there quickly. Hammer 1, pull open, 3E, open D. Now that 3E is a downstroke, the open D is an upstroke. That's critical. You're gonna go. You want to be in the direction of the next string or chord coming up. Let's play it up to there. And we start it over basically. That's the same as the first one, except instead of an F power chord, it's a B flat 5. 1A, 3D. Oh, oops. And then our last one will start the same way. Up to there. 3 pull open E, down up palm mute open E, and then end it with barred hammers and pulls. Pretty cool. 2 D and G. So hit that. Hammer 3, pull 2, pull open. Same thing on the A and D. Play it together. Make sure when you pull off, think of it as like as if this is your pick, because you got to snap it to create that volume when you're playing that riff. You know, if you want your frequencies or your levels, your attack, I should say, to be the same, you don't want it to drop off when you're doing your hammer pulls. Techniques sometimes, if we're not confident with them, they'll drop in the attack. So try to keep the attack level even. Here's the whole thing. Okay. All right. Choppy, tight, chunky. Still got a groove. Number 3B. They got a song called "The Devil You Know," and this is more of kind of that tight, chunky, choppy kind of thing. And we got 2 parts of this one. Pretty heavy, man. LA Guns has some diverse stuff, man. So does Motley, as we're gonna find out here. But yeah. Palm mute the open E 4 times and then go 7A. Use whatever finger you want here. Middle might make more sense. Then go 7A. On the D, we're going to do a chromatic run, which means half step increments. Goes 6, 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9, G. Now you can go first, second, third finger or second, third, fourth, it don't matter. Textbook would probably say like that, but it's at the end of the day, it's about how you're comfortable and how it feels. I would go first, second, third. No vibrato, by the way. Alright, I put 4 times. You can do as many as you want. And then there's this part too, which actually I think comes before it. Palm mute the open E 4 times and then play a E power chord. 7, 9, A, D. 5, 7, it's a D power chord. 6, 8, EA is a A sharp power chord. 5, 7 is a A, slide to 3, 5, which is a G. And repeat that.